Power transfer internal on your mark.
Roger, on my mark, all stages to internal power. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, mark. All stages command internal.
Should be able to hear the mission control audio
All stages on internal power.
in the background. Should be able to hear it. Alright. Yeah, so ain't this fancy? Hey everybody, usual suspects coming to hang out. So yeah, this is going to be a little different format than usual. Rather than doing little musical interludes and stuff, I'm going to be showing films, my stuff from my NASA archives, and little videos I've done related to Apollo, because today is Apollo 11 day, even though it's not, because weirdly we never made July 20th a holiday. Even when I was little, I was kind of perplexed by that. If they said on the news, it's July 20th and it's the blah 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 anniversary of the moon landing, and I was like, how come it's not a holiday? It's like we make holidays for all kinds of stupid things and questionable people. Why didn't we make the moon landing like the greatest achievement in the history of the country? Why didn't we make that into a holiday that people could just kind of celebrate? And I thought, well, it's probably because it's just too close to the 4th of July. And for some reason, we can't have two holidays in July. But yeah. So I thought what I would do is I'm going to have the Apollo 11 in real time video. Yes, it's not in real time because it's not happening right now, but on the other side there, in the background. Hopefully you can hear the chatter. I tried to set this up so that you can kind of hear a bit of the chatter. But hey everybody, people coming on board. And then I'm interspersed between these little vignettes of the video on that side and that side. It's upside down and backwards, that side. I'll show some of my films. Since Google launched their AI, I've been having lots of, more trouble than usual with the Wacom bots for the copywriting and stuff. They've been, coming down on things that I've posted years ago that met with total approval. It's because the trolls are using AI to try and find anything that they can kind of claim. And with the NASA films, I always get some bozo claiming that they have a copyright to that NASA film because they used it in a video, or because some record label, some emo artist, took a sample from a NASA film loop and made some kind of industrial track from it, and now the record label is gonna just say they own anything related to that audio. And yeah, so I know that when this is all done, there's going to be a cascade of claims that I'm going to have to go and dispute. But in the meantime, we're just going to have fun and watch films and remember the moon landing. Plural, I guess, moon landings. Because some of the films I'm going to run my Apollo 12 recovery film from the Hornet, which I went back, that was on Ektachrome, and it was really, really blue. And I went back and I tried to color correct it, but honestly, there's so little red in that film. It's just, you were saying, oh, friend, you got to use AI tools for that. It's like, well, you can't enhance what isn't there. And so I did my best to try and get somewhat of a color balance, but between the fact that it's daylight Ektachrome that they shot in the hangar under what I'm assuming is sodium lighting, that the color balance is just all over the place. When people are underneath one of the lights, they turn really bright orange, and then when they're not underneath the lights, they turn completely blue. It's just impossible. So, but I have that on deck. I have the film pods thing that I did about ejectable film pods. We'll watch that. I have the little NASA film about the special recovery tools that they used for Apollo 11 and the tracking stations that they used. That was a silent film, but I do have some. I did do a voiceover on that. And the first thing I'm gonna show is 4 minutes or so. The first film I'm gonna show is the film about the building of the Kennedy Space Center when they were in the process of building it. It's a fascinating film. It's got really great animation and mock-ups of everything they did. It was done at the time when the firing rooms and everything were still under construction. They hadn't been finished yet. A lot of people kind of have the sense that the Kennedy Space Center, the way they remember it from the Apollo films, was like that, during Gemini and Mercury, but that wasn't the case. They had a very simple military bunker that they used during Mercury, and a very simplified firing room that they used in the Gemini missions. And Kennedy Space Center was still under construction well into the late 60s. Yeah. I'll do your show videos you're legally allowed to. Yeah. Well, it comes down to the idea that everything is monetized, and there's just so many people that want to claim ownership of everything. And like I said, especially when talking about pop culture stuff, like with NASA films, the fact that we're in 40, 50 years into the sampling era, I guess easily going back into the 80s, 40 years at least, where musical tracks have taken snippets of audio from what used to be very obscure, maybe unknown films, and now those little audio snippets are owned by Sony and huge international mega corporations, and they fight tooth and nail for anybody using the original film that they don't own that clip came from. They will hold on with a death grip for 2 seconds of audio. And I get into this. The Apollo 12 recovery film was a big thing that I had to contest when it first came out, because there was a company, I think the BBC, were claiming ownership of that because they used it in a documentary 30 years ago. And they held on the idea that they owned that film, even though I own the only existing copy of that film. The only known print to exist is in my possession, which is the one you're going to see. So even though I claim no copyright to it, if anyone on the planet could, it would be the person who owns the only copy of that film, and that's me. But we're going to watch that. Yeah, we got people coming in. Probably be a light crowd because, let's face it, who really cares about Apollo anymore? But I do. So at least for the next couple of hours, we're gonna bask in it. We're just gonna go down the nostalgia rabbit hole, and we're gonna bask in the glory of the late 60s, early 70s, the Apollo program, and the first time that human beings left the planet Earth. Should be still a big deal. Maybe people don't think it's such a big deal anymore. Well, I guess the vast majority is there's the people that think that it never happened, and then there's the people that just don't care, and there's that slim sliver in the middle of people that still care about it. So, let's go to the first film, Building of the Kennedy Space Center. Berserk. In my lab, it's where I work. Bye.